Hello everyone and welcome to the Bill and Scott Sports Show. I'm Scott and this is Mike filling in for Bill who couldn't make it. So how you doing, Mike?
I'm doing good, Scott.
That's good, Mike. So let's get right down to business. The big news of the week is the Colts' decision to cut Peyton Manning. On Wednesday, the Colts owner Jim Irsay announced that the Colts released the four-time MVP, making him perhaps the most coveted free agent in NFL history. I think this decision makes sense for the Colts. They weren't going to pay Peyton Manning the $28 million he wanted, and they had the first pick in the draft, which they can use on quarterback Andrew Luck or Robert Griffin III.
Manning was arguably the best Colts player ever. Manning had 3 neck surgeries in the past 19 months, and without him, the Colts went 2-14 last season.
A series of teams are interested in Manning, but we're just going to have to wait and see how this one turns out.
On to women's basketball, our UConn Huskies won their 5th straight Big East tournament title as they beat Notre Dame.
So, good luck to our women Huskies in the NCAA tournament.
As for the men's, the conference championships are still going on. The UConn men team lost to Syracuse Thursday afternoon. It still appears that they will most likely get a spot in the NCAA tournament.
Thanks for that. Jeremy Lin's alma mater, Harvard, won the Ivy League championships, which guarantees them a chance in the NCAA tournament.
Fun fact, it's Harvard's first time in the tournament since 1946, so we'll have to see how far they can go.
So on to the NHL report now, Mike. What's going on in the world of the NHL these days?
Well, some good news in the NHL is that Sidney Crosby is now days away from returning. On Monday, Crosby was cleared for contact and took part in his first full contact practice since December.
That's really good news, Mike, for the NHL and for Crosby. Let's hope he can come back as one of the NHL's best players. So what's up with our Bruins now?
Well, first off, Bruins goaltender Tuukka Rask suffered an injury on Saturday against the New York Islanders. In order to replace him, the Bruins signed veteran goaltender Marty Turco on Tuesday night. Now, because Turco was signed after the trade deadline, he will not be eligible to be a goaltender in the playoffs if the Bruins can make the playoffs.
That could be important. That could come back.
That means Thomas will have to take it. Thomas and Rask will have to take it by himself, but Rask is going to be benched for 46 weeks. Back to the Bruins. Bruins beat the Maple Leafs for the 5th time this season. They got two goals apiece from Jordan Caron and Tyler Seguin, and Chris Kelly added another one. There were also a few good fights, but that cost the Maple Leafs the game.
Thanks for that NHL update, Mike. Now over to Cara and Adrian for the Kardashian Korner.
So there's more Kardashian-related drama in the NBA. Khloe's husband, Lamar Odom, is back from a 10-day personal leave.
Originally, it was believed that Odom was being sent down to the D-League, but the Mavericks took it back.
Odom, who shot 1-9 versus the Knicks on Tuesday, has Mark Cuban's full support. Don't you guys just love some Lamar Odom?
Love some Lamar Odom. Some Kardashian. It's great stuff.
Thank you, Cara.
Thanks for that, Cara.
In other NBA news, the trade deadline is approaching. That's right. The deadline is March 15th, and there are many big-name players that could be first traded. For example, there are rumors surrounding Dwight Howard, Blake Griffin, Jordan Crawford, and Ray Allen.
It also appears that the Celtics aren't interested in trading Rondo anymore.
To be honest, I didn't think that the Celtics would ship Rondo, arguably their best player.
That's true. So now over to Alonso for the World Soccer Report.
Yes, hello. Lionel Messi made history by becoming the first player in modern Champions League history to score 5 goals in a single game. This makes him the 6th top scorer in the history of the world's most watched annual events.
Thanks for that, Alonso.
Thank you.
See you next week. So in baseball news, Bobby Valentine has announced that Red Sox outfielder Carl Crawford will be doubtful for opening day. In early January, Crawford had wrist surgery. Crawford's wrist might be one of the reasons he had the worst season of his career last year.
Hopefully Crawford will bounce back this year and be that $142 million hitter that the Red Sox are paying for.
Yeah, they did pay a lot for him. So in other brief MLB news, Johan Santana pitched Tuesday for the first time against Major League hitters since 2010. Also, Rangers pitcher Yu Darvish pitched 2 scoreless innings in his first start.
Lastly, infielder Carlos Guillen announced his retirement, and Andrew McCutchen signed a 3-year deal to stay with Pittsburgh.
To be honest, Mike, that deal surprised me a little bit, as the Pirates usually trade away any talent they have.
So true.
So thank you, everyone, for watching this week's episode of the Bill and Scott Sports Show. And thank you, Mike, for being a guest host.
My
And
pleasure.
thank you, Cara and Alonso, for everything. And Jake, thanks for joining us today.
We'll see you next week.
You ready?